My mother-in-law invited herself on our honeymoon. I'd have been in a relationship with my fiancé Alex for 3 years. We hit it off pretty quickly and after a year we moved in together. After a couple months of dating, he introduced me to some of his family members, including his mother, Zelda. She had raised him as a single mother, and she was very close to Alex. She wasn't very warm towards me, but she wasn't rude either. The longer we were together, the more we would meet her, and she never warmed up to me. After a while I realized she just didn't like me, and yes, I was disappointed, but I tried not to think about it too much. I had mentioned it to Alex, and he said that's just how his mom behaved with his past girlfriends and that I shouldn't worry about it. One weekend Alex and I had organized a small get-together with Zelda, his aunt Melissa, his cousins and my mother Cindy. I am 4 months pregnant, and my fiancé and I wanted to announce it. When we gathered everyone and told them, they were ecstatic and congratulating as well, everyone except Zelda. When we went to her, she hugged Alex, congratulated him, and barely acknowledged me. I just walked away because I knew they would start talking, and Zelda always excluded me from the conversation, and I went towards Alex's cousins who I'm close to. We talked about the baby and how I would decorate the room, just normal chatter for a soon-to-be mom. I was with the cousins, but I was still within earshot of Alex and Zelda and noticed that she was excitedly talking about how she would take such good care of the baby because she has always been a mom at heart. I'm not going to lie, I probably overthinked, but the last comment pissed me off. She kept talking like I wasn't in the picture. By the end of the get-together I was mad and waited until she left to go talk to Alex. I told him I thought her comments were weird and that considering she's never liked me, it just feels like she thinks she's going to replace me. Alex just said that she wants to be a hands-on grandmother as it's her first grandbaby and that it's not that deep. Yesterday one of the cousins sent me a message asking me if I knew that Zelda was telling her church friends that she was being blessed and she would welcome a baby in her life because God could see how much love she had to give back, that she would name it after her grandmother, and just a bunch of nonsense. I told Alex what I knew, and he finally acknowledged how weird and creepy her lies were, and he called her to set things straight. He told me she started crying and that he felt bad, but I feel like she's just plain crazy and is trying to guilt trip him. I sent her a message that as long as she can't accept that I am the child's mother and to respect me, she won't be in the child's life. Melissa said I went way too far and that I had no business attacking her. Things were quiet for a couple of weeks after my mother-in-law's fight with my fiancé. On the fiancé, she tried to spin this narrative with her family that I was some crazy overly hormonal pregnant woman, but thankfully no one really listened to her. This morning, she showed up at my house under the guise of wanting to work things out. My husband was out with his friends, and, against my better judgment, I let her in, and once we sat down to talk it all went downhill from there. She started going on about how she deserved an explanation for how she was being treated, that she only had the baby's best interests at heart and that trying to stop that would be going against my child and being a bad mother. I told her that I was done taking her attitude and that she isn't the victim and that she was delusional for thinking she could treat me poorly and still be around my baby. Calling her delusional really upset her, and I knew she would just start her victim rant, so I showed her out. I called my fiancé to warn him about her visit before she could have a chance to do so and change the entire narrative to make me the bad guy. I told him he either gets his mother in check or I will be going away until the baby is born because I am not dealing with the stress of having a crazy woman around. He said he understood, and he came home early. My mother-in-law has a reputation for being unstable, so luckily most of my fiancé's family is on my side. She tried to spread false rumors amongst them about me, but we just set the record straight anytime someone called one of us, and luckily most understood what was really going on. After I kicked Mel out, I talked with my husband for a while, explained to him everything in great detail regarding his mother's behavior, and he is very shocked and apologetic for having brushed it off in the past, so that's a huge relief. He told his mother that he needs some space, and we haven't heard much from her since, but I know that won't last forever.